Silicon Valley, is it a meritocracy?
Well, it's more meritocratic than any other industry in America. I worked in law and in politics professionally, and as a result of representing other industries as a lawyer, certainly had exposure to the financial services industry, which a lot of our clients, aviation industry, which a lot of my clients, by far more meritocratic. And the definition of meritocratic would be, can you go from like literally nowhere to success overnight? And the answer is absolutely yes. I mean, one of the most interesting things about Silicon Valley is you meet people very early in their career sometimes, and you wake up a couple years later and they're more successful than you.
A magnitude more.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have former interns of mine that are like super successful. And
does it crush your soul or does it inspire you?
No, it's very inspiring. It's inspiring in a couple dimensions. It actually makes me more ambitious and challenges me to be better at my own job and performance. It gives me energy to help people earlier in their career. Like if I can teach or mentor a couple things that allows them to accelerate their own learnings, you can see the benefit of that where they go farther and faster.
Yeah. It's interesting to me as well because it seems like this is the most helpful industry I've ever met as well. There's like this really, beautiful tradition here of helping people who are new to the industry. And it also makes me wonder why the industry has kind of got this rap of like not being a meritocracy, being an old boys club, and like that you have to know somebody to make it here. It's like
we didn't know anybody at PayPal. I keep pointing this out. We were a bunch of misfits that had no pre-existing.
Oh, were you ever?
Oh yeah. I mean, you should.
I know your friends.
Yeah,
I'm good friends with
you know David, Peter, or whatever, Max.
Everybody.
Jeremy. Oh my God.
Everybody.
Yeah. Everybody was a misfit, and even the media picked up on that. There was like cover stories in magazines about Earth to PayPal because we were that different.
Yeah.
And we made our own network and we made our own success, and then we rebuilt a network ourselves, but we didn't have any connections. And then, I've seen like ridiculous books written that say, oh, well, some of us went to Stanford. Actually, truthfully, less than half the company went to Stanford. Most went to University of Illinois, which is a large state school in the middle of America.
Yeah.
That's where all the engineers came from. None of them came from Stanford. Secondly, and there's 40,000, I think, graduates or 40,000 students at the University of Illinois at any given time. Only one of them was Max.
Right.
So like the idea that like that was some advantage, or Stanford, there's 6,000 undergrads at a time.
Yeah.
Peter created PayPal.
Yeah.
Not the other 5,999. So the idea that like Stanford's some major advantage is just ridiculous, with the math being 1 to 5,999.
Yeah.
So I think people make their own sort of success, and Silicon Valley welcomes that. I mean, you look at the immigrant stats. There's all these different ways to cut the data, but at the end of the day, almost every important Silicon Valley company in the last 50 years had at least one founder that was a first generation immigrant.
Elon, Steve Jobs, David Sachs. None of these people were...
Everybody immigrated from India. I mean, like you have a bunch of refugees from communist countries.
Yeah.
We had the stat, the famous PayPal stat of, half the founders of PayPal built bombs in high school.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they did. But you have to remember, like most of them were building bombs in communist countries, which is probably a reasonable thing to be doing.
Freedom fighters, not terrorists.
Exactly.